cops. Well, should I or shouldn't I? Marky demanded. I mean, who the freak have I got navigating for me here? Chuckles the clown? Turn, Anthony said quickly. Right. Or no, left. That's right, left. Marky sighed heavily. You're a moron, you know that? But he took the turn. Despite his map-reading inexperience, somehow Anthony had managed so far not to steer them wrong. It wasn't the real ocean out there either. According to the words printed on the blue area that represented water on the map, it was a bay. He sounded out the unfamiliar name in his head. Passamaquoddy Bay, it was called, and on the far side of it was Canada. Anthony stared at the land, low and tree-covered on the other side of the water, wondering if living over there felt any different than it did on this side. Better, maybe. They sure get up early around here, he commented. Boats puttered offshore, crane-like contraptions jutting from the backs of them, dragging something, though he couldn't see exactly what. Nets made of chain, it looked like. And on the opposite shore he could just make out small houses. Maybe the boat operators lived in the houses, had wives and kids there even. Anthony frowned. It's a whole other country, Canada. Testing the idea, sounding it out. They'd taught him to read back in juvie, and they'd taken his tonsils out after they got infected. That was the sum total of what he'd gotten out of the juvie experience. Well, that and an early warning system, a kind of alarm that rang deep in his head when things were going haywire. It was jangling now very loudly and unnervingly, like the bell for a fire drill, but there was nothing he could do about it. Marky expelled an exasperated breath, plucked a smoke from the pack in his t-shirt pocket, and punched the dashboard lighter with an angry stab. Jeez, he said long-sufferingly. The road here was even narrower than before, with great big trees crowded up on both sides. They made Anthony nervous, these huge, green, living things all around, with no fences or anything to keep them in. No paths, no park benches. He'd have given his left nut for a coffee shop, but he hadn't seen one of those in a while either. Animals, though, he guessed. Bears and, well, he didn't know what else might be running around in these trees. Were there lions in Maine forests? Marky might know, but another thing Anthony had figured out was that it was better not to ask Marky unnecessary questions. On the Tappan Zee, actually, when Anthony was first confronting the knotty problem of unfolding the map, he'd realized it. He'd asked Marky to say where in Maine they were going so he could at least try to start plotting their route. That was the first time Marky had told Anthony to shut the freak up, adding that if Anthony gave him any crap whatsoever on this trip, Marky would shoot him and dump his dead body by the side of the road. To emphasize this, he'd opened his leather jacket to reveal the gun's checkered grip peeping from his inside breast pocket. Marky, the guy said not to bring any. Screw the guy, Marky had said viciously. He wants to do the thing, let him do it his way. Hires me, I do it mine, okay? Marky had already showed Anthony the small spiral notebook full of instructions for the job. Do this at this specific time, that at the other. Backup plans, too, for different things that might possibly go wrong. And a photograph of a woman. An old snapshot, white crinkly lines on it from where it had wrinkled a little. In it, the woman smiled into the camera. Dark hair, full red lips, eyes laughing and bright. The snapshot had come out of the wallet of their employer, Marky had said. But he wouldn't say any more. Probably because he didn't know. Although just try getting Marky to admit anything like that. Finally, there was the heavy cardboard box full of equipment that they'd brought along, which naturally it had been Anthony's job to load into the Monty's trunk. 2 sets of night vision goggles, rubber strap headsets to wear them with, a small recorder with an old-fashioned cassette tape in it, plus other things that Anthony couldn't take the time to identify because Marky kept yelling at him to hurry. What's up with that stuff, he'd wondered. But now he just looked out the window again to where the underbrush crept up to and in places right out over the crumbling pavement. No power poles, he noticed. Probably no lions either, but he still wished there were fences. This better be right, Marky growled threateningly, spewing out a stream of smoke while casting another evil look at Anthony.